A woman had just put a fried egg on a worker's plate. The next second, water suddenly started leaking from the ceiling. The worker couldn't dodge in time. The fried egg also fell to the ground. When the woman saw this, she hurried to get him a new one. The simple worker waved his hands repeatedly. He picked up the muddy fried egg from the ground, rinsed it with water, and stuffed it into his mouth without any disgust. This scene made the other workers burst into laughter. The woman was also infected by this warm atmosphere. But a few days later, the woman was bullied by an old lady in front of them. Watching as eggs were smashed heavily on her one after another, the workers who were eating remained silent. The woman also bent down and kept apologizing. The reason was that the woman's husband was trapped in a tunnel. The old lady's son, who was a worker, had sacrificed himself to save the woman's trapped husband. The incident quickly escalated. People began to question the nationwide effort to save a man buried in the tunnel, whose life or death was unknown. Finally, after a vote by the leaders, it was decided to abandon the rescue. The developer, for his own interests, threatened the woman to sign the rescue abandonment document. For the safety of her daughter, she agreed. The workers in the tunnel stopped work upon hearing the news. Then the woman announced to the whole country on the radio that she had voluntarily given up the rescue, but the words stuck in her throat. She was afraid that her husband was still alive, yet would never wait for the rescue. But no one expected. Her husband was indeed still alive. Although his phone was unusable, there was a car radio in the vehicle. Without water or food, he survived for half a month, only to hear such sad news. The man was unwilling to accept it, picked up a flashlight and stumbled out of the car, dived into the ruins, vowing to dig a way out for himself. But climbing up was easier said than done. Before the man could move a few meters, the adjacent tunnel began blasting construction. The man didn't expect that not only had the rescue been abandoned, but they were going to bury him alive. In the critical moment, unwilling to wait for death, he returned to the car. The man pressed the horn with all his strength, trying to tell them he was still alive. But the unaware workers started the second blast. Just as they were about to ignite, the captain was surprised to find the detector left in the tunnel was sending a signal. They opened the manhole cover, and sure enough, heard bursts of horn sounds. The man was still alive. Hearing the news, all the workers rushed out of their rooms. The rescue operation restarted. The workers worked through the night to save him. The next day, the man, who had been trapped for 35 days, was successfully carried out. The accompanying dog also miraculously survived. For a moment, everyone was excited. The media surrounded the man tightly. After finally squeezing out, they delayed letting the man board the rescue plane. Such a big scene. Of course, they had to wait for the minister to come and take photos. At this time, the reporter saw the man saying something to the captain. So he asked the captain, what was the first thing the man said after being rescued? The captain hesitated for a moment, then shouted loudly,
다 꺼져 이 개새끼들아!
When everyone was stunned, the man gave the captain a firm thumbs up. But the news reported, after being rescued, the man praised the government first. The minister also took the opportunity to say that people's lives are above everything else. But the captain was demoted, working as a doorman in a booth, and was punished to write a 10,000 character self-criticism.